Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2011 Toyota RAV4. I believe it's a RAV4. And it's here because it's got a noise in the driveline, like a hum, a whine. I just drove it in the shop, and I see the ABS light is on. I'm sorry, traction control light on, four-wheel drive light on, and check engine light on. So we're going to scan it. I suspect the support bearing in front of the diff is noisy. It's got 192,000 kilometers. Let's scan it and see what codes it has to offer. So this is a new vehicle record. Let's do a code scan. He said the check engine light, or the MIL, came on the way here this afternoon. Oxygen sensor code. Oxygen sensor code. Bank 1, sensor 2. One sensor 2, high voltage, low voltage. Telling me that engine EV control system fault. So that O2 sensor code is turning on a, wow. That C1280 is because of the engine control fault. Wow. Way to go, Toyota. So we'll look at this engine, visually inspect this oxygen sensor. Bank 1, sensor 2. So underneath this RAV, looking at the rear pinion, there's a little bit of play in the U-joint. He said this drive shaft was changed a couple of years ago. A little bit of play in the CV joint inside here. But they shouldn't, those two problems should not create a whine. I suspect it's this support bearing here in this thing that's whining, because they had a bulletin on it, I believe, or a policy adjustment on it. I'm gonna look that up, waiting for my furnace to shut off. It's funny, the noise seems to be coming from the drive shaft, like a ringing. Feel it on here. I think that support bearing in this pinion carrier here has failed. Gonna see how it's serviced. So I found this TSB 0080-13 from June of 2013, rear differential coupling noise. There's no policy adjustment on it, it's just a 5-year powertrain warranty. But it does give me the part numbers. Change the whole coupling assembly. Well, I'll see what's available part-wise. So we're back working on this Toyota RAV4, and I sourced a viscous coupler from Dorman, part number 926-960. It took almost 10 days to get it, unfortunately, but it's half the price of the dealer, and it also has a limited lifetime warranty. Probably the same part as the dealer part, but regardless. So we're going to put it in. Now normally before removing the drive shaft I would mark it, but since there's no place to reference it to because this is going to be replaced, there's no point marking it. There was some play in this U-joint, end play, It's not side to side, it's end play, so I don't think that's going to hurt anything. And you'd have to change the drive shaft to fix that, and I know he's already changed this drive shaft once. So these bolts look like 12 or 13 mil. 13 mil, 17 or 18. So let's get started. So undo the drive shaft and pry it forward slightly. 12 millimeter nuts and 14 millimeter bolts here. Spray some penetrating fluid up through the holes in the floor to get the threads on the bolt. And I secured it with a tie strap, so I'm going to leave it right here for now. I think that's going to be out of the way far enough. So remove the four 17 mil fasteners that hold the front of the diff up. It will drop slightly. Now there's an electrical connector there that needs to be unplugged. We're going to get that with a 90-degree pick. That goes into the solenoid inside here, or the electromagnetic device. So that's the bearing assembly off. Now we still have to take this electromagnetic clutch off. There's a snap ring here, and that electrical plug pushes through from the back. That's why we had to disconnect it. Now I suppose you don't really need to change that. That hasn't failed, but it comes with the new one anyway, so we're going to put it in. There's also a couple of thrust washers in there. They could have stayed in there, but there. Okay, that's the electromagnet. I'll clean this housing up. Clean up the gasket surface. Now up on top of this differential, you can see that vent up there, that little steel cap. That's differential breather vent up here. It's very difficult to get to. It's rusted and seized in place, so I'm going to free it up, make sure that there's no, that's free. That's common to rust up and block, and then it builds up pressure in the diff and the pinion seal leaks, or the axle seals leak. So this thing's a little rough. Definitely was the problem. So there's the new coupler installed. A bead of RTV sealant to seal it. 14 foot-pounds for these 8 mil bolts with the 12 mil heads, and 41 foot-pounds for these bolts here. I'm not sure about these ones, I have to check. I did get that vent free up there. I managed to grab with a pair of pliers. It's much easier now with the differential hanging like this. I have to put the studs in here as well. Now let's keep going. So these nuts are 26 foot-pounds, and the bolts that hold the center bearing to the body are 27 foot-pounds. Now we just got to fill the differential. The fill plug is back there and looks like it hasn't been out anytime soon. That's the fill plug there. Yeah, that'll be interesting to get that out. So it's a 10 millimeter hex. I drove a socket in it, but it was going to strip, so I used the air chisel on the side of the nut while I pulled on it at the same time, and it came out. So it takes 85-90 gear oil, and we're going to fill it with my little pump. So this is a marine hydraulic oil pump for filling stern drives. You can buy them on Amazon. So I keep a couple, beats squeezing the bottles with the hose. You fill it to the bottom edge of the fill plug. There we go. fast down the highway. Nice and quiet now. It's amazing how much noise that thing made. Well, that's it. We'll call this one fixed. Thanks for watching.